That's my dad, Roger Gelder. He was born October 18, 1949 in Wellsburg, Iowa. Dad's the second oldest child of Leonard and Kathleen Gelder. He has one brother, Lee. Dad graduated from Wellsburg High School in 1968. In 1970, Dad headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota to attend Brown Institute so he could be a DJ. Oh, and get chicks. Look at that sweet ride. Dad landed his first radio job at KICS in Hastings, Nebraska in September 1969. After a successful interview and job offer, he was so thrilled to finally be a DJ that he could barely wait to get home and tell his mom and dad. After a few simple questions from them about his new job, he quickly realized that he might have forgotten to ask his new employer some pretty important questions. Stuff like, what are the hours? What days of the week would he work? Would there be any vacation or benefits? Oh, and how much was the pay? The only thing Dad knew for sure was that he needed to be there in 2 days. Now, Dad doesn't like to brag, but this was a pretty great job, you guys. The hours were about 80 hours a week. The vacation was whatever you could get the other two on-air guys to cover for you. And the benefits were, you have a job. Oh, and the pay, $4,200 a year. Nice work, Dad. In 1972, Dad married my mom, Debbie Wagner, or as we refer to her today, Crazy Deb, but that's a whole other video. I was born in 1973 and my brother, David, in 1977. Dad became a grandpa when his first grandson, Tree, was born in 1999 in Omaha, Nebraska. My wife, Heather, and I made 2 more grandsons, Joby in 2001 and Hanson in 2012. We live in Utah, but please don't hold that against us. The first half of Dad's radio career was spent moving. We lived everywhere, man. 10 moves in 13 years. Hastings, North Platte, back to Hastings, Altoona, Iowa, back to Hastings, Wellsburg, Iowa, Scottsbluff, Nebraska, Gering, Nebraska, Alliance, Nebraska, Ankeny, Iowa. We practically kept U-Haul in business. In 1986, Dad got his first job running radio stations in Lincoln, Nebraska for Midwest Communications, KLMS and KFMQ, and they had season tickets to Nebraska football games. In 1991, we moved, again, to Great Falls, Montana, where Dad ran K99, KZGF, and Q102 for Sunbrook Communications and Fisher Broadcasting. In November of 1997, Dad met Larry Patrick. Larry and partner and wife Susan were going to be buying KZMQ AM/FM in Graybull with some big plans to buy KODI and KTAG in Cody within the year. On February 1st of 1998, Legend Communications was born, and very early on, Dad realized that he loved this place and would be calling it home. Only one problem, Mom didn't want to call it home. So, after the divorce, Dad found himself to be a single man again. Time to just sit at home and wait for the ladies to come calling, right, Dad? It was a very lonely time. Dad decided to try internet dating and he joined a website called JudTheStud.com. He didn't know that the site was for guys wanting to meet guys. And don't bring it up, he really doesn't like talking about it or showing the tattoo. Then I told him about NaughtyGirls.com. He had way more fun there. And thanks to that innovative dating site, in January of 2004, Dad met the woman who became the love of his life, Linda Bott from Billings. They got married in April of 2005. Along with Linda came our bonus family, Linda's daughters Dusty Nelson in New York City and Kelly Nelson and her daughter Montana Hanson in Seattle. Linda's son Bran Nelson and his wife Donnie and their 3 daughters, Lily, Addie, and Bergen, live on a ranch northwest of Billings. Dad and Linda love to travel, usually to spend time with their family. In November of 2003, Dad was promoted to Executive VP, Chief Operating Officer of all the Legend Communications stations. Today, the total number of stations in Wyoming is 18. There's 9 in the Bighorn Basin, known as the Bighorn Radio Network, 5 in Gillette, known as the Basin Radio Network, and 4 in Buffalo-Sheridan area, known as the Bighorn Mountain Radio Network. In addition to the regular trips over the Bighorn Mountains, Dad has also continued as the general manager of the Bighorn Radio Network with offices in Powell, Graybull, Worland, and the home office in Cody. A pivotal point in Dad's life occurred in 2006 when the Legend Communications management team went to Memphis, Tennessee for a retreat. While there, they took a private tour of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to learn more about a radio station fundraiser called Country Cares for St. Jude Kids. Annual radiothons are conducted by country music radio stations across the country. After the management team's emotional tour of the St. Jude campus, they were asked to consider having their country stations be a part of Country Cares. In April of 2007, Fox Country in Gillette, Kicks Country in Buffalo, and KZMQ in Graybull did their first radiothon simultaneously across northern Wyoming. It was an immediate success, and in April of this year, they did their 8th annual radiothon for the kids of St. Jude. The dollar amount raised after 8 years has exceeded $800,000. Wow, what a great way to involve local, small-town radio stations in doing a great deal of good in the world. Everyone at the stations gets involved. Even an old faded disc jockey from the dinosaur age like Dad can get behind the mic and imagine himself to be that young kid from 45 years ago. Being a part of small-town local radio stations comes with the responsibility to be a leader in the communities